You have to use a shop vac to clean it out.
Dang.
You have some digestive problems, bro.
Had to use a shop vac to get it out, huh?
Uh-huh. Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I am Martelle, and with me always is Rambo.
Rambo?
D.
Rambody.
Rambody.
That's my Cambodian name.
Yeah. And we have a guest today.
We do. A very special
We are
guest.
actually on location someplace else. We are at my second home.
It feels much cooler in here than
We
it
are-
does in your sauna office.
I know. We're at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Everybody's a wiener here.
I hate Planet
Don't
Fitness.
drop barbells.
Don't even pick
scream.
them up.
No
Don't
grunting.
Grunt.
Don't sneeze.
Don't sneeze.
Don't lift weights, eat pizza, and eat the candy out of the candy dish.
And brownies.
My favorite video on the Planet Fitness was some guy, another member was yelling at a guy because he was breathing too heavy. Like when he went to bench press, he would exhale, and it was frustrating to her.
well, you're not
Not even
supposed
grunting.
to.
He was just like,
Oh.
just
like,
exhaling.
when you lift weights, you're just not supposed to breathe anyway.
Yeah, well, that's fine if you're lifting 2 pounds.
So,
You got this dude in their bench pressing like 400 pounds. He might like make a slight noise.
we are at Truefit Athletics,
Woo woo.
CrossFit TFA, and that other voice you hear is Coach Jimmy Barnes.
What up?
Welcome, Jimmy
Otherwise known
Barnes.
as Jamuel.
Jamule.
Jamuel.
Jamuel Barnes.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Coach
From
Slim.
now on.
That's what I've been calling you behind your back for years.
Oh, yeah. Jamule.
What is going on, Jimmy?
Not a lot. Not a lot. I'm excited
Nice.
to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
Big fan of the show.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
love you guys.
Prove it. Name 14 episodes right now.
I don't know the names of them.
14
I
out
don't
of the 14 out
Down
of the,
like the 30.
out of the
I couldn't even do
35.
that. No, I'm very excited to be back. I used to, when I lived closer and was skinnier, I used to come here and work out. And
Well, you
do
were a
Krav Maga
Krav instructor.
here. Yeah, I was
Where
a
do
Krav
you
instructor
live
here.
at now?
Circleville.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I used to live about 10 minutes away. Now I'm about 35-ish. And I work in Columbus now versus working in Lancaster.
Gotcha.
I used to live in Logan, work in Lancaster, so this was really convenient.
I mean, all I'm hearing is
But-
excuses, but that's just
Oh,
me.
absolutely.
Right,
I've got them
yeah.
for days.
I mean, I
How
live
much time we have.
I live 25 minutes away, and I work at Easton. I
have
still
2
manage to
kids
get
now.
here.
It's really
Right.
hard. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy for me to get here.
I've got
Drive.
I got 2 kids too. I mean, one's got a wiggly tooth.
Uh-oh.
Oh, knock it out.
I mean,
Let's
it's
go. I got
just
a crossbow.
so
We'll tie a string.
it's so difficult for me to get here
Tied to
now.
a door.
Well, I love my kids, though. You just lock yours in cages when you leave. And
I used to.
You don't.
they're
Not
older
anymore.
now. Now they just
You're
have
not
to stay in the
supposed to
room.
lock kids in cages.
No, you can't. Yours is still young enough. You're
Yeah,
fine.
yours is. You're fine. You're
You're
still.
kidding.
Yeah,
going
I
anywhere.
mean, he'll be 4 months. I usually just leave him at home anyway. So.
Yeah,
can't go anywhere.
He can't
Right.
go anywhere. It's
Put on a
fine.
fresh diaper before you go. You're good for about 7-8 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll fill up. You get home,
Yeah, you'll be fine.
shit up the back.
Exactly.
You're fine.
And you just spray them off with the hose, and then they're clean.
Yeah, yeah. No big deal.
It's one of those sprayers, kitchen sink.
Yeah,
So you got parenting done already, man. 4 months in, you got it.
yeah. That's all it is.
YouTube, that's all you need.
Kid popped out all of a sudden. He's in the delivery room. His wife and kids sleep. He's on Google. Like, how do I dad?
How to dad.
Dadding made easy.
Oh man. So what are we doing? What are we drinking here?
Well, today,
Poured something.
so I did. I poured you some Smooth Ambler Contradiction.
That I love the name. All of
It
that.
is.
Smooth Ambler,
Smooth Ambler. That's the distillery.
which
Contradiction.
reminds me of a gambler and a rambler.
Yep.
And a backbiter.
Backbiter.
Sooner or later, God will catch you. That's a Johnny Cash reference. No. Okay. Wow.
I'm out on that one.
Plebes.
So I had to grab the bottle.
So, where did you get this bottle of whiskey at?
So I picked this up. This is a straight bourbon whiskey
Guy
from
on the
Smooth
corner.
Ambler. I actually picked this up when I was down in
Passed out.
Kentucky.
He passed out. Martell just grabbed it and ran.
Yeah, it was a guy down. He was down by Bootsy's. I picked this up while I was down in Kentucky before it was available here in Ohio, and now I'm seeing it here in Ohio.
So how long have you had this bottle? A while.
Maybe a year.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
I sip on it. I mean, it's one of the 30.
Jimmy's like, that bottle's lasted a year. Well, it's easy when you have 80 bottles at home.
That's true. I was going to say.
And you're continually restocking.
Yeah. Well, and I'm actually going down to Kentucky tomorrow to buy more.
Jeez.
Did you ever find anybody to get you the Japan whiskey?
Not maybe.
What whiskey
Not
are you
maybe?
want from Japan? This is what I deal with.
Maybe.
Yeah, you got called out on some of your slurs and mess ups during the last episode.
I know. I don't
One of
give
our
a shit.
biggest fans was like, Martelle was so wrong, I turned it off. I'll try to listen later.
Oh, fuck them.
We were,
I don't care.
That's like
I
my
was
favorite
drunk.
part of the show.
yeah, when Martelle's like totally wrong, and then he's like, wait a second.
I
Well,
don't-
not that, just like the slurring and the
Oh, yeah.
messing up the words is great. I love it.
Yeah, I have head problems
And back problems.
and back problems.
That's why you were standing erect right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm standing right now because I
kinda
can't
awkward.
sit
He's
down.
very erect.
Just
It's
erect
weird.
right in front of us.
Oh yeah, look at that. Audio
right,
show
back to
with
the-
visuals. So
Hi, Mom.
this is it's 100 proof.
Oh,
It's got
okay.
an elephant standing on a barrel, just
Which
for
is
the
pretty
description.
Sweet.
So
It's
that's
a cool looking bottle.
It is a very cool looking
Very
bottle.
fancy.
This is batch number 83. It was bottled by Ashton. I guess I don't know who Ashton
He
is.
does so many great things.
Yeah.
You know, he was in
pretty
acting.
awesome.
Now he's real big in the getting kids out of sex trafficking and making bourbon. And you know,
Oh well, Kim Kardashian's really good at getting people out of jail too. So
Oh, yeah?
I don't even know anything about that. Back to the bourbon.
Back to the bourbon.
Kardashians do not need to be mentioned on our show ever.
Ever.
okay,
Any
I'll
on-
just
on
not
any
edit
show.
that part out. So this is a wheated, distilled, and aged in West Virginia. So it's a West Virginia bourbon.
Not a Kentucky bourbon.
It's not a Kentucky bourbon.
Wow.
West
Right.
Virginia
We're getting
bourbon brewed or made in. You don't brew.
No, you just
whiskey, do
you
you?
distill. You distill. So this is and
No, it was
it's a
bought
blend.
in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a
He bought it there. But
bought
it was
it there.
made in West Virginia.
so it's a blend of West Virginia and Indiana, expertly blended.
So they just sell it in between.
Yeah.
Right in Kentucky.
So
Interesting.
have a sip.
All right. I'll upload a picture of us to our Facebook. I like the smell. I start with the smell.
On the nose, it's really good. I'm not going
Wow.
to go through all the tasting notes and everything.
That's
That's,
just
we have a lot to do today.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's
It's not as smooth as the what was the other 100 proof we did? The Virgil Cane.
yeah, I
Last
think
time.
so.
It's not as smooth, but that is really good.
Yeah, it's got a really
sweet
nice
finish.
flavor.
Yeah.
I should have eaten breakfast this morning.
This is
You
your
know,
Now
breakfast.
it's lunchtime, and
This is your breakfast.
One shot, and I'll be done.
well, we got 4 to do.
Right? Yeah.
Well, we don't have to.
Why is Jim?
I only brought 2. Jimmy's on the floor.
His pants are off already. That's not bad.
It just got weird in here.
Well, Martelle's erect, and
Yeah, Jimmy's on the floor. Pants are off.
I've been sick and I haven't eaten. This is going to get ugly fast. I mean, you poured me like the littlest sniff of bourbon in a cup I've ever seen, and I'm going to watch it like turn me inside out.
I know.
I'm willing to share.
No, you're good. You do you. We poured Martelle poured our guest a healthy
Well,
It's
dose.
at least a quad shot.
I over poured because I felt bad because I felt like I under poured and then
He just turned the bottle upside down and
just
just let it go.
glug 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 glug.
So what's the price point on this?
I don't remember.
Google it, man.
No, just go to Giant Eagle or Kroger and find out. It's probably
our friends want to know. Our listeners
no, they don't.
Want,
It's probably it's. I'm gonna guess $42.99.
Say $40.
okay. So we're saying around 40, 42.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like $42.99.
Now I'm looking up online, so it could.
Well, Ohio price is gonna differ than online price.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So $39.99 in Ohio and $70 online.
Bingo.
Whoa.
You said 40, 39.99.
What do I win?
More bourbon.
Yeah, you get to drink some more.
All right.
Yeah, so for $40, I would say this is priced very fair.
Yeah.
Especially for being a high octane, 100 octane there. How many donuts you giving it there? We rate everything donuts, as you know.
Yeah,
Jimmy.
this is-
What do you think? Now, we don't know your benchmark. You're not just a bourbon guy, are you? Like, we prefer more bourbon. You're kind of a, what do you prefer?
Alcohol.
All right, so our listeners know Jimmy's rating his out of just alcohol.
Right.
Compared to
well,
other alcohol.
I've had many bottom shelf whiskeys.
Right, as have
And
I.
I've had a few medium shelf, if that's what you call it, whiskeys.
I think it's
I brought in
middle shelf.
that really nice bottle of
what-
scotch that one day.
Oh, yeah.
Scotch and
Campfire,
scotch.
The stuff that smelled like a Band-Aid tin.
and it tasted like you chewed on a campfire.
Yeah, yeah.
Ew.
It was awful.
But it was really good, like scotch.
Yeah, it was like one of the higher ends. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like $60 a
See,
bottle.
some of the high end
And-
stuff I've tasted, and I just go, like
can't
I'd rather buy
Just imagine.
Heaven's Hill for $12.99. You
Just
know,
imagine the campfire smoldering out.
right? The
And
ashes.
You take
got
the
little
ashes and
charcoal.
you grind it up, and you take a shot of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I forage with charcoal, so I've inhaled a bunch of that. It's not good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So how many donuts you giving this then?
What's our scale?
1 to 5.
1 to
One to
5.
five?
Yeah,
And you can do half donuts.
Well, I would have to give this one like a 4.
nice.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Now, take that as you want. I drink a lot of low shelves.
That's fine.
No, that's fine.
That's
we,
fine.
We look for people's opinions. We're not
Yeah.
here to. We're not professionals in the game.
Right.
Like nobody's going to write a blog about you and how wrong you are.
Right.
Although,
If they do, hey, that's more notoriety for us.
although they might talk shit about you on the car form like they do me. So
It's all right.
That was only that one time.
No,
you haven't
but-
been mentioned since.
I'm
You're
sure
not that popular.
Someone said they turned off the show and they'd go back and listen to it. Who was that?
that was sent to me via Facebook Messenger. That was
Oh.
Greg. So how many?
Oh, and
donuts
I'm
you
friends
giving
with
this
him,
Martell?
by the way, too, on Facebook now.
Good.
And he's
He's a good guy.
talking shit about me to you. You know. Say it to my
No,
face, Greg.
Technically, he said
Facebook.
he was almost to his destination, so he turned it off. But you were very wrong about. Apparently, I haven't listened back, but apparently, you at one point accidentally said bourbon's only made in Kentucky instead
No.
of Kentucky bourbon is
Wow.
different than. So I think it was a slip up in your drunkenness last time. But I was like, yeah, Martell knows. Like we've even had bourbons from other places on our show. We know it's not only made in Kentucky.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wow, how many donuts you giving this?
I give this one. I like this one. I'm going to give this one like 3.5. I give this one a good 3.5.
I'm with you on that. I say 3.5 on this one.
Yeah.
I like the Virgil Canes much better than this. I mean, not like drastically.
Well, this
but I
is a
think I gave them
weeded,
like
so
4, 4.5. Right,
this
it's
is a
not
weeded
the-
bourbon. This
right.
is different than what the Virgil Canes are. So
They're rye.
this, no, they're corn.
Corn,
we had
sorry.
corn. With this being a weeded, putting this up against the Weller, this is right on par with Weller. So
I would put Weller over this for 2 reasons.
I would put Weller like quarter of a point over this. So like Weller's like
Weller.
3.75.
If I give this a 3.5, I'd give Weller a 4. Simply because Weller's you get $15 to $18 cheaper.
yeah.
You can
Oh,
get
yeah.
the 107 proof, which I think is smoother than this at 100 proof.
Well, that
Now the Weller's Reserve, which is 80 proof, is way smoother.
right, and that depends on which Weller we're talking about here. So
But that's what I'm saying. Even the
green
Antique
label versus red
107,
label. Yeah.
the red label, I think is smoother than this. So I would put
Yes.
this just under Weller's.
I put it
Especially
in
at 40
between
bucks a bottle.
in between the two.
That's fair. So I give it 3.5.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
with you on this.
I put it-
3.5, and Jamule gives it 4.
Okay.
Jamule.
Nice. All right.
What kind of donuts are we talking about?
The
Whatever kind you want, it's your choice. We picture the Simpsons donut, the pink icing.
with the sprinkles
Sprinkles on
and
it.
very cartoony illustration-y looking. Yeah.
Right on. I can dig that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it's very good. Very, very good.
It's,
So-
really, really good.
He's like, give me more.
He's still got good,
Yeah, you-
good
yeah,
half an
that
ounce
was
in
a
there.
try here, guys.
You covered the bottom of mine yours glass. You covered the bottom of his and went a little more.
A little more. Let's loosen Jimmy up for
just,
this.
just about another couple 7 ounces.
Okay, so before we move on to the next one, let's hit our topic today. So we have
yes.
2 topics that we'd like to hit today, if we can, and we'll see if we can hit them both. So the first one we're going to hit is Hawaii, one of the last states to hit the Union, and they're doing something very special over there on that little island. They are banning smoking.
Well,
But they're
they're proposing the ban on smoking,
Which I
on
actually
tobacco.
think that they've looked into it and decided not to do it.
Really, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything more on
I think
their
they realized
proposal.
that it would be way too difficult to go through with it.
Yeah.
So they decided to scrap the whole thing. I think.
Okay.
And here's what brought this up. And we've been talking about having Jimmy and even Brandon, Jimmy's partner in crime here at Truefit Athletics in Lancaster, Ohio, on South Ewing Street. Look him up.
Yeah, and stop by,
stop
come
by.
in.
7-day trial for free.
Ooh,
What if you did a special promo just for our listeners? Something extra.
Yeah.
Think about it. But no, this if you're looking at, I'm doing a plug. We weren't even planning on it. This gym, for what you get for the price, with professional trainers whose certificates you can see in the lobby of what they know and what they do, the equipment here, the camaraderie here, you cannot beat it. If you were looking for a gym and you think Planet Fitness is a good deal because it's like $5 and you get to eat pizza, look at the people in Planet Fitness. I walked in today after being out of here for 4 years because I got really fat again. And
yeah, you did.
I'm working on that. It's going really well. I'm getting fatter, so I'm doing well at it. But I walked in and I was like, even the like quote unquote out of shape people here are in way better shape than me. Like this place is legit. But we would want to have him on, and then he posted something about the ban on cigarettes in Hawaii, and he said I would be all for this. I would vote for this ban. And I replied, like I want it, and it was just too much to type, but I was like, we should talk about this because I actually I went to a Christian college in an adult degree program, and one of our topics for my English class was you had to pick an argumentative essay. So you had to pick a controversial topic and try to persuade somebody else on your point. And one that I picked was, I actually just titled it, Please Keep Smoking. Now, I started smoking. I had my first Swisher Sweet cigar at 11 years old.
Dang.
In the park at Sylvan. It's a neighborhood in Circleville. I thought I was awesome. Mm-hmm. I did not know that you were not supposed to inhale Swisher Sweets. Now that I'm an adult, I realize you should never even buy Swisher Sweets.
No.
But I had my first cigarette, I think, at 14. Something like that. 14 or 15, I had my first cigarette, and all the cool kids I hung out with a lot of older kids. We had a kid named Tom that ran around with us, and at 15, he had a full beard. So he could just walk in back, it's the mid-90s, he can just walk in and buy cigarettes. Nobody carded him. If somebody carded him, he'd say, they're for grandma, she's at home and can't get out. Okay, and it's, it's back in the day.
Yeah.
So we'd get a few packs, and I was smoking. By the time I was in college, I was either smoking a pack of Black & Milds, or a pack of Marlboros or Marlboro Lights a day. I smoked from up until 25. I'd already rededicated my life to Christ, became a youth pastor, still struggle with smoking. To people that try to quit smoking now, I try to encourage them and tell them, I quit 47 times before it stuck. It was, I'd quit for almost a year, went on vacation, grabbed a pack on vacation, and the next thing I know, I'm back to a pack a day. So it's something I've struggled with. I've lost family members due to cancer from smoking. Beth, my wife, has had a bunch of her family members have either done chew or dip or smoke cigarettes. And the first time when we were dating, I went to meet one of her grandmas in a nursing home, and she had no nose that had to be removed due to problems from smoking for so many years. So it's definitely something I can say that I can speak on with experience, having been addicted to nicotine and been around and lost folks, that or been around people that are greatly affected. So I just posted, I think all I said on your post was I wouldn't vote to ban it.
Right.
Now, I expected a bunch of other people to, jump on it, usually happens on Facebook. But
it was
pretty
knew
chill.
It was going to be, completely opposite. I knew people weren't going to agree with me on that, and that's cool. And people are allowed to, And I'm for me, and I think I even posted it on that status. For me, it has nothing to do with tobacco in general. For me, it's more of a selfish thing.
Okay. It's nice that you acknowledge that and admit it, though. Yeah. Because most people don't.
For me, it's just I hate it. I've lost a lot of people to it. I see what it does to people as far as addiction and that kind of stuff. And I mean, I've even heard stories. I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard stories of people putting it over everything. It almost becomes like.
Well, I can back you up on that. Statistically, cigarettes in general, but tobacco and nicotine is statistically harder to quit than methadone, than cocaine, than heroin. And a bunch of people may listen to this and say, "Oh, bull crap," or "Oh, blah blah," or it's not that big of a drug. My aunt and uncle run 3 recovery houses that help people who are coming out of jail or coming off drugs get clean. They employ them where they do they have a thing called Como Restoration where they do restoration work, power washing, construction. But they get these people clean, and I've seen people who have done some guys I grew up with fell into heroin and cocaine.
Yeah.
And they came in there and they said, "Okay, we need to quit everything." They're like, "No, don't quit your cigarettes. that's going to be too hard. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but they've done the research and they have had professionals come and help them. Like they're in it. They're living it. This is what they do for a living, is help people get clean off alcohol, off of narcotics, and everything. The one thing they tell people is do not quit smoking cigarettes. It's harder and more addictive to quit.
And usually once you have an addiction, I mean, you have to have something to replace it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I've known people that have smoked for years who have quit, but then became addicted to things like soda. You know what I mean?
Well,
which is totally
that's what happened to
random,
me. When I was coming here, when I was teaching here, I got down, I went from 421 pounds down to 268 back in 2010 and 11. I did that just by eating right and moving. It wasn't any crash course diet or nothing. But, and I had, at 25, I quit smoking. Well, I went to the e-cigs back before vaping was a thing. They only had the little, you know, cigarette-shaped ones you could get. And I would do that on the way here, teach a class, go home. You know, I'd be doing that nonstop. Well, through the night, I would smoke this e-cig in my cabin. Sometimes I'm smoking in my office at the church because there's no aroma, no odor. It doesn't harm anybody else. Right. And it wasn't something I did to look cool. It's something I usually did behind closed doors. And it wasn't that I was ashamed I did it. I let other people know I did it. But it was replacing that habit. And when I quit that, just due to cost and, you know, I had a kid and all this, well, then I started finding myself snacking more and more. And now here I am. And at the end of last year, I went, oh, crap, what have I done to myself? Now I'm back in the worst shape I've ever been in, where I was a Krav Maga instructor, teaching 2-3 classes a week, working out, going on hikes. Now I'm back to where I was. So you're right. It's definitely when people quit whatever addiction they have, they replace it with something.
And they say that the smoking addiction is mainly just like it's a habitual thing. Like people become addicted to the process of smoking. You know, something in your hand, you know, and it's something to pass the time for a lot of people. I had a friend, his mom actually went and got hypnotized to quit smoking.
Did it work?
Kind of. So it worked for a little while, I'll say that. But then
I've heard mixed results on it.
Yeah, she became extremely addicted to seltzer water.
Seltzer water?
Like the carbonated water and the flavored water.
Like the La Croix?
Yeah.
The LA Crocs water?
She would buy just like 30 cases at a time.
Holy crap. How long would that last?
Not very long.
2 days.
Yeah, literally like a week.
So she was just doing seltzer water like nonstop. That's the only thing she was probably drinking.
It was basically like one can would be like a cigarette. You know what I mean?
Wow. And
it worked for a little while, but then I don't know. She went back to smoking eventually.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. So for me, like I mentioned before, it's not like, and I do want to be clear about the fact that it's not necessarily tobacco that I'm against. You know what I mean? Because it's more about the smoking. You know, in general, and that goes for all things. I know that marijuana right now is a big thing that they're trying to legalize, and I'm against legalizing smoking marijuana. You know what I mean? But I
even
think
medicinally, you think they should have like the oils or the edibles?
Yeah.
Okay,
because I think it doesn't
fair.
matter what it is. It could be. I mean, it could be a campfire. I mean, it could be a cigarette. It could be a joint. It could be anything. But if you put that smoke into your lungs, it becomes carcinogenic.
Now, what about the vaporization of something like that, turning it into like a water vapor?
You're talking about
like the marijuana oil or the nicotine?
Yeah.
Now, see that here's the thing
because with the Hawaii ban, vaping is not included in that ban.
But it's just as bad.
I don't
for
know
your
much
lungs.
about vaping.
Right. Well, then that's the thing. So vaping is basically it's just turning it into.
Right, you're still getting
a steam of some kind.
The only upside that I know of for vaping or e-cigs or whatever you want to call it is the secondary effects. It doesn't affect other people as much.
Right.
It's still now that when I first started doing it, they were like, "Oh, it's like you're walking through a mist. You're inhaling vapor." So I was like, "Well, that's healthy. I mean, healthier than cigarettes." Well, once I quit, was right around the time people started saying, "Oh, there's this thing called popcorn lung. There's this thing called Now we're finding out that people have been doing it for a few years. We're starting to see the results of that.
Effects of that too.
So,
and I heard one Juul pod is like the equivalent of like
eating a Tide Pod.
Like an ungodly amount of nicotine. Like,
and here's my problem with my e-cig. Like I said, now when I smoked for about 10 years. If I smoked in my car, it could be dead middle of winter, could be a polar vortex going on. If it was so cold, I could not roll down my windows. I just want to smoke because I hated getting in somebody's car and it smelled like a wet ashtray. I hated walking to somebody's house and just smelling like you're at a dirty, dingy dive bar. You know what I'm saying? I did. So when I smoked, me and a buddy lived together. He dipped and I smoked. Well, he dipped and leave spit bottles everywhere. Well, that ticked me off, so he started cleaning them up. But my negotiation...
He should have been cleaning them up in the first place.
Right, he should have. Well, we were all young and dumb, and he was young and really, really, really dumb. But when I went to smoke, I got on the porch. That was my rule for me and my place. I didn't want when people came over, like I had one buddy, he chain smoked. We'd go to his apartment, he smoked inside, he'd say, smoke inside. Well, I would, and you'd walk out smelling like an ashtray. Yeah. But when he came to our place, no. Get out we got a covered porch, put on your jacket if it's cold. You do that outside. That was just our rule. So the secondary effects of the vaping, you don't get that. So I was actually doing the e-cig smoking, or if you want to call it vaping, that's fine, way more than I was smoking. It didn't start that way. But then every time I was in my car, I actually ended up with two. So as I'm smoking one, I'd have another one on the charger ready to go.
Do you think that's like a psychological thing, too?
I think so.
Because everybody had promoted it as being healthier than cigarettes?
Yeah. Partly. I think it partly is. I think the other part is, like you said, I was looking for something to replace that oral fixation and that addiction.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to eat more, because this was when I was like really, really into fitness, watch what you eat. I was working on the farm with Sean, raising our own meat, growing our own veggies and fruit and everything. So I was really cautious about that. So I didn't want to eat more because I was afraid of getting fat again, which is kind of ironic sitting here today in the old gym I used to teach at. But so for me, it was part psychological, because even Beth, she said, I would rather you do that than smoke. She hated smoking, hated it. And she said, that I would rather you do that than smoke. Well, then it became a money thing, because now I'm doing it in my office, in my car, in the cabin, anywhere I went. So I'm doing it more. And it just became to where I needed that fixation more. So I think I was more addicted to the nicotine doing the e-cig, so it wasn't any better. As for the Hawaii ban, and the reason I said I want to do this, I'm with you as far as how I've been affected. And now having two kids, I definitely don't want my kids around cigarette smoke. Now, I still occasionally smoke a pipe, tobacco pipe. Every time I say I smoke a pipe, people are like, oh, you smoke weed? I'm like, no. Yeah, crack pipe. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Well, all wise men smoke pipes.
Right. Well, I have a beard. Once I grew a beard, it just showed up on my porch like, here's your pipe.
So is that the secret to growing a beard?
I think it is. Pipes and whiskey.
See, that's funny, because my pipe showed up, too, when I had a beard.
And
then it disappeared when I shaved it. I was like, shit, it's gone.
Does it just show up when you have a beard?
Yeah, it's like my beard got down to...
Right, it just vanishes.
It like, when my beard got down to my chest, I'm like, oh, shit, there's a pipe.
There's a pipe. Where did that come from?
And then the day I shaved, I was like, I went to grab my pipe, and I was like, it's gone. Damn.
See? That's what you get for shaving.
I know. Well,
no, but for me, here's the thing with the pipe, though. It's a process. So when you light a cigarette up, you literally grab a pack. You can pack it on the way to the car. As soon as you get in the car, you pull it out and light it. With a pipe, you have to pack it. If you pack it too loose, it doesn't burn well. If you pack it too tight, it doesn't light well. There's a process to it. And the more I got into studying pipe smokers and all the past presidents that smoked pipes, and historians and authors and all these people, and looking at what they had to say about it, was like, you know what, it forces me to slow down. And these were people living hundreds of years ago. In the world we live in, I was like, I need to relax. And I was still looking for the oral fixation. So I got off the e-cig, bought a cheap pipe, bought some cheap tobacco, started learning how to smoke a pipe. Now, with that, I can easily say I don't do it around people that don't smoke a pipe with me or don't tell me to. I definitely want it around my kids. And it's not something I'm addicted to, because I haven't smoked it since last summer because it's just too cold. I'm not smoking in my place, and I'm not going outside. I don't need a pipe. But it is something that when I'm around a campfire with friends, it's something that I enjoy. It's a process. It takes, for you to properly pack a pipe and smoke it, a full bowl, you're looking at about a half-hour process, maybe longer, depending on the size of the pipe. Obviously you can do it differently, but it's not a quick 5-minute cigarette.
Right.
So for me, it was a much different. Plus, most people smoke tobacco pipe are like, "Oh, what's that?" It's not. Even though it's still smoke, they just seem to be okay with it because it smells like cherry vanilla Kool-Aid or whatever.
Right.
You know, so, but for me, I actually read this college paper I was talking about called Please Keep Smoking, and I did it at a Christian college. Now, this was back in 2007, so shortly after I quit smoking. And I did a lot of research on tobacco companies. How much pollution do cigarettes cause, the factories cause, blah, blah, blah. How much revenue do they bring in? How many deaths are there per year in different ages and socioeconomical classes? Like I did 4 or 5 weeks worth of research on this. And in the end, I went, look, cigarettes suck. In the end, they get you hooked and they make somebody else a lot of money and you die. Okay. But the research turned out that less kids died from secondhand smoke than kids died of some kind of organ failure or disease from eating too much fast food and candy.
Right.
Less pollution happened from cigarette smoke, and companies that made cigarettes, like I looked at like Philip Morris and all these big companies, than auto producers and automobiles. And the whole cow farting thing, that's been in the news lately, right? Because we have a senator now that says we should
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're back farting on the methane thing from cow farts?
Yeah, what's her face is saying we got to get rid of all cows by 2024 because the methane farts are killing the ozone and crap.
Oh, no, I like cows.
So, yeah, I was like, where's all that
tasty.
steak going? You can get rid of cows. Send them to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring them all to Ohio.
Most of them are in Ohio.
Okay.
Okay. We're one step closer.
We're good then.
But I looked at animals, you know, these big production pig farms, cow farms, and all the methane they produce. And, you know, you got diesel tractors plowing through cornfields and all this. Yeah. And the amount of, I even looked at litter, cigarette butts. It drove me nuts when I was smoking to see cigarette butts laying around. I don't know. I've never liked litter.
It still drives me insane.
When I was young, when I was like 16 or 17, driving on my own, the windows were down. I finished drinking like Mountain Dew or something. I threw the can out. That bothered me. To this day, I think about that can. Is it dumb? Yeah, it's dumb. Some people don't care. I go down the road, any of these country roads we're all living around, you'll see 3-4 bags of trash somebody just pulled over and threw out and went on.
I almost rear-ended someone the other day with Liz in the car because they just chucked a bag out the window. And I was, Liz was like, are you kidding me? I was just like, stomped on the gas. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, catching up.
They need to know that they threw that bag out. Like my wife said when I used to get mad at other people on the road, she's like, you're not a cop. Well, they need to know they did something wrong. She's like, why? Like, who are you? I was like, you're right. But still, they're wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But in looking at it, yeah, it's now when we were all growing up, you go to, like DJ said in the previous episode, you go to restaurants, smoking or non-smoking? Non-smoking. And you go sit in your non-smoking, smell cigarettes, smoke the whole time.
Yeah. Right.
It's so now that doesn't happen. You don't even go to a bar and smell smoke anymore. I mean,
no, you just walk through them as they're standing outside.
Patio area now.
Right.
Most bars do. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it depends. But, and again, my argument then, and this was after I smoked, was people were like, well, if you go to a bar, this, that, or a restaurant, if you know they're smoking there and you don't like it, don't go.
Right.
I mean, that's a choice you make. If you go somewhere knowing that people are allowed to smoke there, you can't get mad that people are smoking there. You know, that's like going to a concert knowing it's going to be loud and then complaining it's too loud. No, if Metallica's playing and you got seats in front of the speakers, don't complain about your eardrums getting bleeding. So that was my big thing. But in doing all the research, my biggest thing is if we totally ban tobacco, what's it really going to do? Because we tried banning booze.
Oh,
what did that do?
Yeah.
You know,
I totally understand the effects.
Yeah, so
it would definitely be like a setback for many years to come.
Well, here's my biggest thing was the economy, the effect it would have on it, and I just got a couple quick points here that I did. I couldn't find my paper. I think it's on my old laptop, my term paper, because I was just going to hit some highlights. But I found an old article. It was actually written in 2011, so the figures are from then. But in the year 2010, the federal excise tax on cigarettes brought in $15.5 billion in revenue. That money went to fund the expansion of the federal state children's health insurance program. Oh, wow. So they took $15.5 billion federal tax dollars from cigarettes and helped kids get insurance. State level,
what kind of message does that send, though?
What kind of message does it send?
Well, you think about it like kids are like, oh, well, the tobacco companies helped us.
Well, I don't think kids know that, but that's a good point. I don't think kids growing up are like 8-year-olds like, you know what, I hope everybody keeps smoking because it gives kids insurance. Like most kids that age are worried about Pokemon and whatever's happening at school.
I'm worried
well, with that,
Pokemon.
so before you go on with that, so Hawaii's tax on cigarettes is the 5th highest in the nation at $3.20 per pack.
Okay, so I'm about to hit on states next. That's perfect.
So that's
The
just
lowest-
the tax on
Right, the state
on a
tax
pack
on
of
it.
on a pack of cigarettes.
So the state tax, again, this is back in 2010. Missouri had the lowest at 17 cents per pack. So if you want to smoke, go to Missouri. New York had the highest at $4.35 per pack. Again, back in 2010. Now I think it's like $7 or $8.
Yeah, it's that now.
But the states raked in more than $24 billion by tax of cigarettes and $8.8 billion in settlement payments from tobacco companies.
Okay, so the state of Hawaii spent $6.6 million on tobacco prevention in 2018.
What could that money have gone to?
Could have went to a lot of things.
A lot of things, rather than trying to prevent somebody from smoking and making their own choice.
But you just said that they spent $15 million on.
No. I'm saying this is what they brought in.
Right.
I didn't say what the $15.5 billion was federal. That's not just the
okay.
state. That's
Gotcha,
federal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is in Hawaii. I don't know how the states spent it because I didn't go through all 50 states.
And then nearly 50% of the CDC's recommended spending total is $13.7 million, according to Tacos. Tacos sound good. According to Tobacco Free Kids, which is a website.
So that's how much they spend on.
That's the CDC's recommended
to prevent
kids from smoking.
Yes,
tobacco for kids.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I don't want kids smoking. I think kids are too young. I think 18-year-olds are too young to join the military, decide what they want to do in college for the rest of their lives.
Well, no, that's a whole other discussion that you and I are going to have at some point.
Oh, good. Okay, can't wait. But looking through this dude actually got really, really savage. Hans Bader, counsel for special products of the Competitive Enterprise Institute, cited a number of studies that pointed out, excuse me, my throat, I've been sick all week, in an admittedly macabre fashion that smokers save taxpayers money.
Side note, if you've been sick all week, you need to reference a episode we did about the hot toddy and go back and have one.
I've been making one each night this week. That's where this bourbon I brought came from because I got some just for hot toddies. But he said they save taxpayers money by dying sooner and more quickly than the rest of the population.
That's just morbid.
It's like I said, it's admittedly macabre.
Right.
Smokers save the government money by dying earlier, thus reducing Social Security payments, and to a lesser extent by dying relatively cheap ailments like lung cancer, which is a fairly quick killer, rather than more expensive lingering ailments. It's kind of like putting somebody on. It is, but it's also factual.
It is. I get it.
It's kind of like if somebody's sentenced to death, why do we pay for them to be on death row for 20 years? Why not kill them next week? We're all paying for that.
Right.
He's just kind of saying, it's not cool, but the reality is, if they're in the hospital sick and they die quicker, it saves taxpayers money. So my biggest thing, I guess, and I'm not going to read this whole article. We can link it, I guess. And then it sums up my thing. It says politicians don't want constituents and taxpayers to be mad at them, so they try to find small percentages of the population to go after. Smokers. Right now, well, back in 2010, they said about 20% of the population smoked. I guess that's much lower now with everybody vaping. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I had it pulled up and I lost it when I was searching for something else. Nationally, smoking is down from 2005 to 2017, about 20% overall. And then they have it broken down by gender, and then they also have it broken down by age. But I can't. I'm searching for it now to try to
So he's great.
He said,
pull that up.
I do too. They put non-users against users. It's very much a divide and conquer approach. So that's exactly saying what we're talking about. You're going to put the people that want to smoke against people that don't want it. So if the anti-tobacco campaigners get their way and turn America into a land without smokers, will never happen. It is possible that after the fiscal pinch is felt by America's elected officials, they may embrace their inner Joni Mitchell admitting, don't it always seem to go, that you don't know what it's got till it's gone. Earlier in the article, it actually alluded to the fact that if they lose that $15.5 billion, they're going to find a way to get it. So we might start seeing taxes on things we do, like pop, meat,
soda,
bourbon.
they're already going to start taxing bourbon.
Yeah.
But that you know what I'm saying? So
but
my
not
thing
for
with
this.
smoking is, and here's my number one biggest reason I would not vote to ban smoking. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
If you are smoking in your house, especially now, at least in Ohio, you can't smoke everywhere in public. You're not even supposed to smoke within 20 feet of a door, so most people don't get it. If you want to buy cigarettes and slowly kill yourself, it sucks. I've still got loved ones that do it. I hate it, but that's their choice. So
I totally get that.
I don't want to see somebody's freedom or somebody's right banned because if they can ban cigarettes like they once banned alcohol, which we all saw how that turned out. And if you've ever actually studied prohibition, it was awful, and that more people died than anything. Yeah. If they ban the cigarettes, that's one of those things. Kind of like, should they be able to take my rifle? Should they be able to tell me what kind of car I can drive? Should they be able to tell me what I can do with land I own? You know, so it's one of those. For me, it's more about the freedom.
Right. So one of the other things with this ban, so Jimmy, you had mentioned that they're thinking about just not doing this ban at this point anymore now. So in a hypothetical situation, if they did try to pass this ban, the way that this ban would work, I can't find the article now, but what I had read was the way that they would implement this in, let's say, 5 years. Right now, someone who is 18, 21, whatever their legal age is, they can buy cigarettes now. And in 5 to 10 years, they would up that to 30.
Like every certain amount, they would up.
They would
it's like
up it until until you're 100 years old.
You can't buy cigarettes
till
until
you
you're
can't.
100.
Right. So
but again, that does the same thing.
So it's
basically banning it.
That's putting
they're trying
no
to
guns allowed sign out of school.
Well, they're trying to just follow people as they age. Those people as they age to get the people that are younger to not. Like, okay, here, smoking's bad, don't smoke. But these people that are smoking now, they're just following them with that age as they're smoking till they're dead and they're not smoking anymore.
Since the dawn of time and until the earth blows up or we all die or resurrection, whatever you believe happens, people have wanted to fit in. And people have always had addictions, period.
No, I get all that.
Back in the 60s and 70s, people were tripping on LSD. They were tripping balls. Nowadays, I don't know anybody that does LSD.
God, I wish I was tripping balls right now.
One dude in my whole life that does shrooms, and he started within the last 10 years.
Still does shrooms.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does shrooms, and he's younger than me, is the weird thing. But the kind of stuff that they were doing back then, look back in the
peyote
20s. Yeah. Look in the 40s. Kids were finding ways to sneak out and do things that were illegal or seemed immoral at the time.
Right.
The way they danced, the music they listened to, the alcohol. That's why prohibition came about.
Right.
You know, alcohol's going to be the ruin of this country, blah, blah, blah. You know, and then
no, that was marijuana.
No, back then, prohibition was done because all the drunk guys and, husbands can't be good, guys can't be good husbands and fathers. They're all a bunch of drunkards. There's a few of them. That doesn't mean we're all, it's the toxic masculinity thing. We're not all drunkards just because we have a sip of bourbon.
I know.
With no breakfast or lunch.
Why are you yelling at me?
I'm not. I'm yelling in general.
You're looking right at me.
You're the one standing in the room.
See, I'm looking at you because I'm yelling to you.
Oh, okay.
You're erect. Yeah. Okay?
Yes, I am.
You draw my attention.
Yeah, I do.
No, but my thing is they want to ban cigarettes and smoking. All it's going to do is cause people to find a way to do it illegally. If they want to smoke, they're going to smoke.
Well, yeah, and the prohibition.
Look at the drug pop problem in the United States. I mean, heroin
here
is
in
illegal.
Lancaster.
Just look here in Lancaster.
Yeah, really, any city. I mean, you're going to find that, and yeah, totally. People are going to find a way to do it. You know, and I totally understand that. Like I said before, for me to post that was more of a selfish thing.
Right,
and
from the beginning,
I'm with you on that. If I had my choice, nobody would ever smoke tobacco. Yeah. And they just want it like it would have never been a thing.
It's my profession too,
right?
And health and fitness.
Make sure people are at their healthiest. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's people that come to our gym that still smoke.
Yeah,
and I get
they're
that.
Trying to better themselves.
But they come to me all the time, and they're like, "I just can't breathe. I don't know what's going on." And I'm like, "I know what's going on."
I know exactly what the problem is.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like
it's very personal to you.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, I lost my father to it. I lost an aunt who was like a mother. You know, I lost a lot of people in my family.
Very close to you.
Yeah, and so for me, like, if I saw it on the ballot, and trust me, like, I don't think there's any way it would ever go through. There's just no way.
But you'd have to stay true to yourself and vote for it.
Right.
And I commend that. I respect somebody that says, this is why I'm doing it. Whether it's good, right, or bad, this is my feelings, my beliefs, and I'm going to stand by it. Then people, when I ask, why do you vote for that? Well, I just thought that was better. Oh, I didn't know they were Republican or Democrat I just voted no for this. 'Cause I'm like, don't vote then. You know, it's just I can always. My cousin voted for Trump. I said, okay, why? Because most people, when it first happened, most people I asked, they're like, oh, because he's going to build a wall and he's going to blah, 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 and Hillary's a crook. And I'm like, well, I don't like Hillary either. You're right, but why do you vote for Trump? MAGA. I'm like, no, but like, why? Like, give me specific. I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to understand. So I didn't vote for either of them. And he told me, he said, I am a father of 3 and a husband. I am the sole income provider of our house, and I own a business. Mm-hmm. This, and that, XYZ. This is what the tax changes have done for me. This is what this has done for me, blah, blah. And I went, all right, good on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. It is working out for you. But when somebody tells me I voted for this person, this bill or that bill, and has no reasoning.
Because I wanted
to. That's your prerogative, but it's better for me, for somebody like you that goes, I understand it's selfish, but I still would like to see this not affect others the way it has me. I don't want to see other people suffer. That I'm all for, because like I said, it affected me. It affected my marriage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When Beth and I first started dating, we'd known each other since 7th grade. I asked her out on a Friday. She said yes. Come Monday, she dumped me by leaving a note in my English book. And we didn't see each other all weekend either. Literally, the next time I saw her, she dumped me. Yeah. That's another story for another time. Stayed friends through high school. And then in college, we started hanging out just as friends, doing more things just as friends. And then we started dating, and it got more serious. And she said, well, what are we? And I said, look, I'm all for dating. But 2 rules. Don't try and change me. I don't. You either like me for who I am or you don't. And I'm cool with that. Because at that point, I was very used to it, and especially now. Some people just don't like me. That's fine, but I'm going to be me.
It's hard to believe.
I'm right. But nobody's ever said I'm fake. You. It's because I'm fluffy again.
Yeah, you are.
And the other rule was don't tell me you love me unless you mean it. I said everybody talks about how strong of a word hate is, but nobody mentions how strong of a word love is and how it gets misused.
I like you.
Well, that's fine. That's better than saying I love you. I love a lot of people I don't like. Oh. That's that Christ-like love. Like, I love a lot of my family members. Some of them are idiots.
Well,
and some of them think I'm idiots. So, but she didn't know I smoked at the time. And I was smoking a pack a day at the time. I just hid it really well from everybody. I'd smoke on the way to church, play on stage, smoke on the way home. Nobody ever knew. And it was just something I struggled with. And we'd been dating 4, 5, 6 months. And, however long, and we're heading up to go to the movies, meet my cousin, hang out, and I rolled down the window of my 92 Tercel and lit up a cigarette. She was freaked out, because like one of the first times we ever hang out, she came to my youth group when we were in 7th grade, 8th grade, whenever. She freaked out. She was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Yeah, I've been smoking since middle school." And she hated it because she had lost several family members, or at least seen the effects that smoking and tobacco had on them. Mm-hmm. And she got upset, and I said, look, if you want to break up with me, that's fine, but this is who I am. It's something I do. At that time, I wasn't even trying to quit. Right. That's just who I was. So, it affected our relationship for a long time, and then she stuck with me, and she kept encouraging me to quit in a good way. She wasn't nagging. Mm-hmm. She was never nagging, never mad. But she'd pray for me, and we'd be fine. And then finally one day I was done. And she loved it, but there was a couple times where that was one of those things that she's like, she saw how it has affected me. So from the personal standpoint, I definitely get it. But for a state, for a government to say you can't do it, that's where I take issue. Because then that goes on to say, okay, well, if you say because it affects you personally, alcohol should be banned, cigarettes should be banned, pot should be banned.
Right. Well, they've already got pot banned, and they need to.
Somebody else lost a kid in a mass shooting once your gun's taken away. Right, somebody else had a drunk driver hit them in your car, so they went tighter regulation on your cars. You got to get checked every 6 months, and you have more taxes and regulations.
You put it to a vote, it doesn't become the government's fault.
No, fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you put it to a vote, and then
it becomes the people.
Becomes the people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but it doesn't
say to me like if we put it to a vote and everybody votes for it, I don't look at that as the government taking things away.
Right. Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That'd be your peers and whatnot, the general population.
Yeah,
but who enforces that?
And just like Jimmy, I'm gonna move this along. So just like Jimmy, I would have to do research on it more. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a smoker's house. I am a smoker's baby. My mom smoked while she was pregnant with me. I mean, that's my issues. So I mean, and that's
you just said so straight face. That's what happened.
It's what happens. So that was the 80s. I mean, it wasn't anything that was talked about. It was like, don't smoke when you're pregnant.
Well, smoking was glorified back then too.
Right. It was.
You had the Marlboro Man. You had the Camel. Joe Camel.
This would go even before that. I mean, that's the late 80s, early 90s. Joe Camel and
it went on through it all, but all of it in the movies.
The Marlboro Man. Yeah, I mean,
you got the guys in the 50s with their leather jackets and their white shirts. Always had cigarettes.
I mean, I grew up. My parents they smoked in the house. They smoked in the car. They cracked the window. Mm-hmm. I mean, I grew up all throughout that.
Now you get cops going on you if you're smoking with kids
right.
in the
car. Now if you drive down the street.
Children's services will come.
So for me, it's the same thing.
Which I do take issue with that.
I think there should be laws, stricter laws against smoking with kids in the car.
Oh, absolutely.
Like and while pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely. And
because
I hate
you take the choice completely out of it.
Yeah.
For the individuals that are.
I'm with you on that. I know many people would not agree with us. I'm 100% with you. A lot of people would go back, and this. Trying to figure out how to word this. It's kind of akin to the abortion thing. Mm-hmm. If a woman is allowed to choose to end a life, end a heartbeat, then why can't she decide to smoke because, quote unquote, my body, my rules? Mm. But I'm with you on that. I think it's BS that you are subjugating other lives that are unwilling participants to deal with the side effects of this crap that is known to do harm. I'm with you on that. My biggest thing, anything I try to vote this way and I try to live this way, do whatever you want as long as it does not affect somebody else or their property. Yeah. So if you want to build a big giant pole barn on your property, you don't need a permit. Just build it. Now, don't be launching rockets off the roof of it at your neighbor.
Well, I'm out.
If you want to raise your kids a little stricter than somebody else, but you're not beating them and you're not starving them, that's fine. As long as the kids are in good health and good standing, and it's a good relationship, fine. We're all going to raise our kids different. The three of us will raise our kids differently, you know. But I, knowing you guys like I do, I can't sit here and say, well, you're doing different than me, so you're wrong. You can't raise your kid that way. Yeah. As long as it does not harm somebody else or their property or their belongings, doesn't affect them, do it. When you're smoking with a life in the womb, with a kid in the car, whatever, I'm with you. That's bullcrap because you are forcing something on somebody else. Right.
So, and I grew up through all of that, and my dad quit once. My mom never quit. When you talk to her about it, she's like, no, I don't want to quit. Yeah. I like it. I like to smoke.
I know a lot of people still like that.
So my dad quit once, and then when my mom died, immediately picked it right back up. I mean, the day my mom died, he picked it right back up.
Oh, yeah.
Tried to quit two more times, and he just, at that point, he's like, I don't care to quit anymore.
I hadn't been smoking for years, and the day my grandpa died, he died here in Lancaster because they botched a surgery, and I'm still pissed about it. Wow. I don't even when I turned on Ewing, I just glared over the hospital. He was my rock, he was my hero, and he died. I drove home alone because I drove out here alone. We actually drove up from Dayton. We went from the hospital to seeing him to a friend's wedding in Bellefontaine, stayed the night, took them to Dayton to go to the airport, and then came up, and then my grandpa died a couple hours later. And so I was in my own vehicle. I drove home. I stopped at a gas station, got a single beer and a pack of cigarettes. Hadn't smoked in years. Texted my uncle, my cousin, my two best friends, and just said, hey, my grandpa died. And they're like, where are we meeting? One lived out in Amanda and one lived in Dublin. They're like, where do you need us? And we went out to Hargis Lake. We're pretty sure it's illegal to drink a beer, but screw it. We were there past dark anyway. And I just cracked it up and just sipped on one beer and had a cigarette. And that's the worst thing because my grandpa did 21 years in the Air Force as an EOD tech, Chief Master Sergeant, 24 years as a Nazarene Youth Pastor, never once drank or smoked. And what I did when he died, both of them. But I did one of each, so... but I'm with you guys. I don't think I would vote to ban mainly because the devastating effect it would have on the economy.
And there's the freedom aspect of it too.
And the freedom aspect. But for a personal reason, I would if it was strictly based on personal reasons, I would probably vote with you. But for me, I've got to look at now. My parents never smoked or drank, so it's not. If you lost your dad to that and your parents both smoked, it's different for you guys. I can't say I know what that's like. I just know what other relatives and friends have been through. And my wife's family, obviously, many of them have been affected. But yeah, so I don't know. That's where I stand on it. I don't think I'd vote for it just for the freedom aspect, really.
Right, yeah. And I get that. I totally do. And I do agree with you on that.
I do like that it's banned from a lot of the restaurants and bars and bowling alleys and stuff.
Which is great.
Back in the early mid 2000s, I'd go out to a bowling alley and be smoking and bowling. Everybody's smoking.
No, that was
looking back now. I'm like, that was really dumb. It was just, there's just this fog over the bowling alley,
Right,
you know.
yeah.
So
Now I just wish the smokers would stay away from the front door like they're
well,
supposed,
they're supposed to,
Yeah.
and move.
And that's a respect thing, which I have a problem with people being disrespectful regardless of what you do,
Yeah.
with smoker or not smoker.
Because I cannot stand the smell of
It's
smoke.
like the person that pulled out in front of me and made me jam on my brakes on the way here. They literally stopped at a stop sign. I was coming over the bridge of the bypass there.
Did they have a Truefit sticker on the back?
No.
Good.
I seriously was like, please be going to the gym because I want to meet you. Yeah. But yeah, it's just people that I literally, the dude looked at me like I could swear we made eye contact, and he just moseyed out in front of me.
Of course.
Nobody behind me. It's like he was trying to beat rush hour traffic. There's nobody behind me. It's just like people that are disrespectful drive me nuts. When somebody's smoking and blowing it around everybody else's faces, that's annoying. I'm with you on that.
Right.
Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Buckhorn Podcast. Check out Truefit Athletics at Truefit Athletics on Facebook, CrossFit TFA on Instagram, and IamTruefit.com. Thanks.
See ya.